to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
That's really astounding.
Oh, good day, everybody. Good day. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. McGee is here. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine, Mike.
Yeah.
Are you fine on your 44th birthday?
Oh, you son of a bitch. No. As a matter of fact.
Jay, I think you missed. He said not to mention it.
Oh,
yeah,
shit. I'm
specifically asked you before we started not to
Happy
mention.
birthday, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a tad under the weather, but I'll be okay.
It's easy for everybody to remember, day after 9/11.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Simple one.
Been getting some nice text messages from people. I'm starting to get to the point where...
Oh, shit, sorry. Fucking commercial.
that was
supposed to be a happy birthday song, and I just thought about the last second, but then it was commercial. My bad.
Yeah.
You could just sing him happy birthday instead. Go.
Happy birthday.
No, come on, E.
No, you got
E,
this.
You
E.
can.
Come on. It's all I wanted.
Birthday. I don't even sing for my mom or dad.
That's
Sing
okay.
for
I'm
Mike.
not
Sing
either
for
of
Mike.
those.
Happy birthday. How's it for real?
Dude, who doesn't know the happy birthday song?
I forgot
Seriously,
it. Happy
sing it.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Michael Walters. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, E.
That was
Meant a lot. It was
oh,
great.
Wow.
Very inspiring rendition of Happy Birthday. It was
like a
rivaled only
spoken
by
word.
the Beatles, really.
I think it was I'd like to do more of a spoken word singing situation.
The son of a bitch forgets Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
You mean
a
Randolph?
week ago, and then he doesn't know the words to Happy Birthday.
Can't believe I forgot.
Incredible.
What is going on
I don't
with
know.
you, E?
What is that? What does that sound?
Well, I never-
Sounds like a record scratch going on. I don't know if other people can hear that, but
Oh yeah, I do.
Damn it, E.
what'd you do?
I haven't done anything.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Anyway, I'm hopping a flight this afternoon. I'm kind of bummed to be a little under the weather and catching a flight.
So are all the people with
Explode.
you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I know. Everyone on the flight's going to be thrilled. I apologize in advance to anybody who's on my flight. But anyway, thank you for the birthday wishes, and thanks to everybody that's sending them my way. And I'm getting a lot of "you're old,"
Well,
you know. I mean, more so than I ever remember.
It's 4 for 4 for 4 4 4.
It is. You're right.
Wow. I mean, would you ever thought? Ugh.
Honestly, no. I would not have thought I would have made it this far. So I guess that's a positive to take from this. Coming up in a little bit, we'll talk to Sean Belesian about that tremendous Lions victory.
And more.
And more, yeah. Sparty's got a big game coming up this weekend. Michigan will have a sort of test, I suppose, with
Who they got?
Colorado or Colorado State. Something like that. Look it up.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But anyway, Sean knows a lot about the Lions, so we're looking forward to talking to him coming up in a little bit. We failed to mention the other day that we've gotten the details about the Mike Massey show coming up October 7th, which is a Friday night. And it's going to be at the Hamlin Pub, and there's 2 Hamlin Pubs in the area, but 25 in Van Dyke. That Hamlin Pub in Shelby Township. So we're looking forward to that. Jeff will be with him, who's in a lot of those videos. I'm excited for that.
Yes.
It's gonna be-
October 7th.
Yeah. It seems like we were just here because we were just here a mere few hours ago.
It's transparent to the listener.
I understand that, but it's not transparent to me. So
It should be.
Yeah. But after you
You've
guys
been doing
left,
this a while now.
Understood. After you guys left, I'm a little under the weather. Cut me some slack. After you guys left last night, I watched some of that 9/11 special,
Yeah.
which was that CNN did. You know, they tried to package it as a new special, but it was really one that aired a couple years ago first, 15 years after 9/11, and it was the 2. I think they were French filmmakers.
Yeah, documentarians, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 guys who happened to be embedded with some of the firefighters
They
downtown.
were
right?
specifically following
like rookies.
one rookie in his first year, trying to make the FDNY, and basically followed him around as he's doing grunt work and washing the things, and they're really getting no footage. Like, there weren't that many fires. Like, he gets called to his first fire, and it's like a tire fire.
Oh.
It's just like a burning piece
Yeah.
of rubber, and it's like, wah, wah. And so these guys have been on this filming for months, and they're like, yeah, I mean, there's been no fires, no nothing. And some of the elder firemen were like, yeah, well, be careful what you wish for, man, because when this shit goes down. And so it's really wild to see that timeline of like June 10th, 2001, and then August 15th, 2001, here's what's going on. And then September 10th, 2001, and September 11th comes, and they get a call like 8:30 in the morning, so for like 15 minutes before the plane hits the towers, they get a call, and it's
some
like
routine gas out of the sewer. Or some
exactly.
shit, right?
And so they show these guys, and these documentary guys are with them, and they're filming, on the street as they're like running their little machine over the grate on the ground, just like, oh, what's the reading? Everything looks good, and then you just hear overhead this plane, and this filmmaker turns right as the first plane slams into the World Trade Center.
The only footage, I believe, of that one, right?
Yeah, I for some reason I thought there was one other person that had some, but that was one of the only ones, and certainly crystal
Incredible
clear.
to see.
Oh, it's unbelievable, and seeing those firefighters immediately jump into action and run down to the tower. I mean, it brought it all back watching that special last night, all over again, and seeing the sheer terror on people's faces when those planes hit that second building, and those guys setting up command centers inside the Trade Center. Just unbelievable footage, really unbelievable. I mean, that was the only footage inside the Trade Center itself.
Yeah, I wasn't able to see it last night, so I don't remember.
Yeah,
that
too much
well.
of it. You remember the bodies falling out of the sky, though?
That was
course.
crazy. I mean, we've all heard it. We've all kind of seen images of it, but I've never, like you said, that was the only footage from in the Trade Center, and to hear the thumping, and when they said, like, when you heard that, you knew what it was. It's like, it was so loud.
Oh, yeah.
So loud.
It was coming through the TV when we watched it that morning. I remember that. We pulled drops of it, actually.
Yeah,
of those.
imagine the pain and desperation
Yeah.
you've got to be in to make that leap.
And one of the firefighters even said that, was just like, we're down here. Imagine the hell that's going on upstairs, that your best option is to leap out of a fucking window
Right.
80 stories up. I mean, it's just incredible that they got that footage. I was reading a story about an airport worker whose life has kind of been hell for the last 15 years, as he is one of the guys that checked in two of the hijackers.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Never thought about that. God.
Yeah, I mean, imagine being that dude. And two of the guys that flew into the Pentagon on 9/11, and he's got guilt, and it's been a long road to recovery for him, even though, I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, he's just doing his job. Vaughn Alex is his name. He was working out at Dulles Airport in Virginia when two brothers rushed in late. I guess they were running late for that flight. American Airlines.
How are you running late? Look what your mission is. Dude,
know,
how
dude.
are you not there an
'Cause they
hour?
were drunk with hookers the night before.
Yeah,
that's
you're
why.
I know, but it's like, dude.
Religious zealots,
right.
you know how they are.
Yeah, always running late.
This is the big, but this is like,
This is 9/11.
dude, you know that you had two other teams that are hitting other planes that are going after Washington.
Yeah, it's martyrdom. You get cold feet, you know?
I guess.
Yeah,
Running
well,
late.
They ended up getting there, though, and that was flight American Airlines Flight 77 to Los Angeles. He checked them in anyways, even though they were running late. And so just a couple hours later, 184 people were killed. It's a decision that haunts him to this day. Hardly a day goes by when there's not some kind of reminder. It wasn't until September 12th, so the FBI shows up, and they showed him the manifest, and he's like, yeah, I remember those two. He says, on the list were the names Salam and Nawaf al-Azami, the two brothers who had arrived late. I looked at the FBI agents. They looked at me, and they knew. And I just went, I did it, didn't I? And they said, you did what? I said, I did it. I put them on the plane. Both the FBI and the FAA say that Alex did nothing wrong, but that did little to obviously squash his guilt or the anger of his colleagues. Every day he would arrive at work to find he was completely alone. Nobody would talk to him.
It's the process.
I know.
Like the FBI apparently said. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong.
Why wouldn't you let people on? I mean, dude, if they aren't those people, lots of people are late for planes. They're all right there. What was he supposed to do differently?
It's a different world then. Wouldn't happen now.
Could you go to the gate
Yeah.
still? Was this when you could still go to the gate, or no?
I don't know if that changed. If you could get through security without having a ticket back then, I can't remember. But so yeah, everyone at work would ignore him. He said even support groups were little help. How do I sit in a room with people that are mourning and crying and they're like, "What's your role in this whole thing? What could I say to them?" Well, I checked in a couple hijackers and made sure they got on that flight. It was support a family and some close friends that have gotten through it. But it doesn't sound like. It sounds like he's slowly coming around.
Come on, man, give yourself a break.
Yeah,
Hindsight, 2020. Like, how could he know?
Yeah, you
It's a
couldn't
totally
know.
different world then.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, per Officer Walter's request, Zotford has come up with a very special program for all the first responders that love to listen to the Detroit Cast. This means all of you paramedics, police officers, firefighters, and everyone in your household qualify for this incredibly special deal. From now until October 3rd, all first responders save an additional $2,000 off the already sick deals on all F-150s, 250s, and 350s. Yes, the sick deals just got sicker. Or if your trucks just aren't your thing, you can save an additional $500 off every other new vehicle in inventory. Visit Zotford and Holly for details.
Last night there was supposed to be a bunch more specials on 9/11. You know, I saw that like CNN especially had a bunch of back-to-back things on 9/11, and they were preempted because Hillary's got pneumonia. So they were doing their dumb live show, called everyone in to discuss her pneumonia, and she's called off her West Coast trip. She was supposed to go to California today.
Right.
I don't know if she was going to be on my flight
Ooh.
or not, but she's not now.
I think she was going to fly from New York, have a layover in Detroit.
Yeah, maybe. You don't know. I don't know. I
Pick
can't
you
say
up.
for sure. Yeah, pick me up, and then we'd be on our way. And obviously we're not going to the same place. So, but she's not going anymore after her medical episode, as they're calling it, at the 9/11 or 9/11 memorial ceremony yesterday. Her doctor, as we talked about last night, revealed that she's got pneumonia. We were wondering how Trump was going to play this thing, and I heard last night that he's being like, "Oh, we're just concerned about Hillary's health."
Her very poor health.
yeah.
Very, very poor health.
And I heard they've got pretty strict orders not to. They don't want anybody like making fun of her or trashing. I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart call on his.
Mature move.
Yeah, I am sure he has very little to do with that move.
Right.
But yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what effect this will have, but I'm hearing a lot of people, even Clinton supporters, going, "Yeah, she's got to be more honest with her health issues and history, blah blah blah." Anyway, we'll see. But yeah, Trump's worried about her though.
I'm sure.
Hey, did you guys see over the weekend in Ferndale, someone got run over?
No.
Did you guys hear about that? It was Friday night. I was there. I mean, I didn't see it. It happened a couple hours or an hour after I was out of that area. I went and saw that Bear versus Shark show at
What's that?
the Loving Touch
Band?
in Ferndale. A band, yeah. Who I've known these guys for years, and I kind of knew they were in a band, but I didn't realize like they were signed at one point, and they're on this like reunion tour, and they had a couple sold out shows in Ferndale, and they've got a sold out show coming up in San Francisco, one in L.A., one in New York, and
Sweet.
so yeah, they fucking blew the place out on Friday night, and a little bit after that show let out, right there at 9 and Woodward, a woman ran someone over, and they were trying to figure out who it was. At first, they were saying it was a guy, but a 27-year-old woman's been arrested after she allegedly drove through a crowd of people in the crosswalk at Woodward and 9.
What are you laughing about, E?
I don't know. I just
Gang rape. Ha!
the idea of like running through people on a crosswalk. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just funny to me.
What?
The scene, I guess, not funny. I don't know how to explain it. I think when you
try for a second?
I think I just imagine some person just and then bodies just. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it would look like. It's a terrible scene. But,
Never mind. I'm sorry.
a 30-year-old woman was actually hurt pretty bad. So Ferndale police announced the arrest yesterday and said the woman's name will not be released until she's formally charged.
This is a concert attendee who got hit?
I don't know who it was. It was like 2:15 in the morning when this happened, so you got to think alcohol played some sort of factor. I can't say that for sure, but
Seems to line up somewhat perfectly.
doesn't it?
Bar closes. You get to your car. You talk. Yeah, I'm fine. You talk your friend into
I get it.
You got this shit. You pull out. You get your bearings. You get out onto Woodward.
And then tragedy. They're saying we'll share more information when it's appropriate and does not jeopardize the investigations. As I said, the accident happened at 2:15 in the morning, just south of 9 Mile. Crosswalk full of people. Most of them managed to jump out of the way, so they saw what was coming. They do have video of this, and they said they won't release it because it's just too graphic. Oh, that sounds awful. The driver is believed to have tapped some brakes, but that's about it. She did not slow down or stop before slamming into this woman. The driver did have a green light and was in the center lane turning southbound onto Woodward. You can picture that from Withington Street, just north of 9 Mile. The woman never regained consciousness that was hit, was taken to Beaumont, and she's got some head injuries. That's never good. The family doesn't want to release her name either. Tragic situation down in Ferndale. And then one of the stories we've been following quite a lot is the death of the Hot Carl.
The Pigman.
The Pigman.
The Pigman starts today, right?
Well,
We've been told so many times that it starts today, though. We were told it was starting 8 months ago, I believe.
does he not have a right to a speedy trial?
it's been over 2 years, dude.
Has it been 2 years?
It was June 2014. You
What?
just looked it up.
Why does he not have a right to a speedy trial? Like, he's sitting in jail.
They moved to move the venue, though.
I know, and they successfully did that. So it was 4 months ago that they attempted to seat an impartial jury, and that failed miserably. And so the trial of Justin Ross Harris has been moved 275 miles away. And
Where people don't have the internet.
right? Like, dude, that's a national story. I don't know. They seem to think they can get an
Well,
impartial
and
jury. But
isn't it going to be even more? Like, the tension's going to be even more now, right? Because, like, all of a sudden your town has this.
What's this moving in?
Yeah.
Wait, what's this about?
Right.
Who's this
Well,
guy who killed his kid?
Right. Let me check it out here, and then I'll attend my jury meeting.
the case, they say, proved just too sensational to seat an impartial jury. In the Atlanta suburbs, after nearly 3 weeks of jury selection in April and May, a judge decided that the media coverage was too strong, left too many in the jury pool with strong opinions about Harris. So he ordered the trial moved to Glynn County, some coastal area in Georgia, where a second attempt at picking a jury is scheduled to start today. As you mentioned, the judge and the attorneys back in April had about 250 potential jurors fill out a big 17-page questionnaire. And over the course of nearly 3 weeks, more than 80 people were interviewed. Many said they thought he was guilty. Others said they would try to be fair, but I got to be honest, man, that's going to be really hard. This guy's guilty as shit. So they say he's going to be tried now in this Glynn County, about 60 miles south of Savannah, and jurors will be pulled from a diverse population that includes blue-collar workers, upper-class retirees, and so they say that this shouldn't be difficult to seat a new jury, and I find that impossible to believe. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, no.
I mean, not impossible to seat a jury, but impossible to find a totally impartial jury.
I don't know.
I would think you could move that case to here, and you would have people that would totally be aware of it. No?
Well, I don't find it unbelievable that people could be open-minded. Yeah, you can have kind of an opinion about it, but people who will agree that, all right, I'll keep my mind open.
Yeah.
They do it all the time with these high-profile cases.
Yeah.
So.
Well, one of the attorneys said, people in Atlanta think all of Georgia is paying attention to what happens in Atlanta, but the rest of Georgia couldn't care less most of the time, especially about crime. So I don't know. We'll see. But
The People v. Pigman.
yeah, I can't wait for that thing to get underway.
It's going to be great.
There's another potential, not Pigman trial, but another hot car
There
death.
was, right? Like a firefighter left this kid in the truck or something?
Yeah.
And his truck said he thought he dropped him off at daycare.
Yeah.
Just brain farted.
I don't know what to make of these stories anymore, dude. But yeah, he's a firefighter in Florida, in the Tampa Bay area. Left his 23-month-old son in the car. At 23 months, can't you just go, hey, Dad, like, I'm still in the car.
2 years old, essentially.
Wait, hey, aren't you forgetting about the little guy?
Can't click a button.
I mean, I get it when it's a 6-month-old, but 23 months old, you would think at some
Maybe
point.
he's sleeping. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I suppose. He left him in the car for 8 hours.
Ouch.
He's been charged with his death. Troy Whitaker's his name.
Where was
charged-
this in the country? What?
Tampa.
Oh boy,
Yeah. A little warm in
a
Tampa.
little warm.
He's been charged with manslaughter of the death of his son Lawson. He was supposed to drop his kid off at daycare, but oops, forgot about that. He dropped off his daughter, his 5-year-old daughter Addison, at her school, and then went home. And I guess he was studying for some firefighter's test. And he says he thinks he dropped Lawson off, but he didn't. He came back here to the house. He arrived about 8:30 in the morning, went inside, stayed at the home till 10:30. He then went out and walked the dog, then went back inside and stayed in the house till 3:30 in the afternoon. When he came out at 3:30, entered the truck, and says he didn't see Lawson, who was in the back seat right
Didn't
behind the
smell
driver's
Lawson.
seat. Apparently not. He said he was facing forward in the back seat of the vehicle. He then goes to Publix. Publix, yeah. That's the grocery store, right?
Yes.
And spent like 30 to 40 minutes in there. Then he comes out and puts the groceries in the front passenger seat of the truck. Still doesn't see little Lawson. At that point, he says that he still doesn't see him. He comes home, parks in the driveway, goes over to the passenger side where he just put the groceries in the car, and that's finally when he saw little Lawson. And they said, yeah, he's long deceased at that point. His body temperature was about 108 degrees. Oof. That's too warm for a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really too warm. They're saying, yeah, he was clearly negligent. He can offer no explanation other than he thought he dropped the kid off. That doesn't make any sense, quite frankly. He has to be held accountable. Neighbors see him doing CPR. And
They're really charging these people like right off the bat now, right? It used
Yeah.
to be, I don't know, before the pigmen, really? They used to defer to, oh, it was an accident, it's tragic. And the pigman does a damn Google search.
yeah, the pigman
throws everything into question.
throws a wrench into the whole goddamn
Oh,
process.
how does it need to be for my kid to die in my car? Question mark.
Yeah, that's not good for your case if you've got all those searches. And the pigman doesn't help with the chicks and all the,
Exposed erect penis.
yeah, all of those things.
There were photos of his exposed penis, erect penis being sent. There were also photos of women's breasts being sent back to him.
Now, will they show those photos in court, you think? Will people see his
Oh, yeah.
exposed erect penis?
Yeah.
They will?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, poor pigman. What a rough day that's going to be. That's
Unless
a tough
it's good,
day in
I
court.
guess. Maybe it's good.
Will they show the chick's titties, too?
Yeah.
oh, damn.
We got to send you down to Cobb County.
I'm sure this chick's sexting with the pigman is really hot.
Right, I'm
Smoking
sure she's a model. Just hasn't been discovered yet. This is her big moment.
Yeah. Kate Upton did the Dougie, and that got her on the nation's radar. This is this young lady's
Wouldn't that be
chance.
funny if they did? I mean, will they know who it is, or will they just say,
I'll keep it confidential.
damn it. Wouldn't it be funny if someone just dug through?
I think they were minors, weren't they? Weren't they like 16?
One
or
of them
something?
was. Yeah, one of them was. A couple of them have come to his defense saying, yeah, he talked about his kid all the time and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I feel bad for this firefighter. I can't imagine some firefighter would do that on purpose. And what do you do? I mean, it's a terrible accident. Terrible accident. Unless you can...
I could totally see how you could forget.
Yeah.
I really do. The more you add to that, the whole going to the Publix, putting shit in your front seat. Like, I don't know, really, if you're driving a truck, I don't know that I've ever walked around my truck and put shit in the front seat. You always go to the seat right behind the driver's seat, don't you? If you're going to put shit in the back.
I do. I mean, it's the fastest way to get out of your car and grab your groceries when you're going
Who
back
puts
inside.
anything in their front? Dude, I think in general when you're shopping,
Yeah.
who puts stuff in their front seat unless it just...
Unless you know the back is just jam-packed with shit.
Right.
You really don't use your front seat for that purpose.
No.
Imagine that feeling when you look up and you see that kid sitting in the back seat too. Oh, that would just be so like that feeling you get when everything sinks and everything drains out of you.
Yeah.
Like imagine that feeling for a father like this. And apparently he's a good father too. Neighbors are all saying that they've got some fun, some GoFundMe shit going around. And
Well, they did for the pigman, too.
at first, yeah, you're right. Until some of the details started coming out almost the same day,
Right.
and then that was stopped. So, I think it's going to be really hard to convict the pigman.
Really? With the Google searches?
Yeah, I think it's still going to be hard. I don't know.
I don't think it's a slam dunk. I think people will be able to agree that, yeah, mistakes can be made. But, dude, the searches are damning.
Yeah,
And then and then you add the fact that he's sitting there sexting with chicks, which is really irrelevant to whether he left his
Dude,
kid in there.
it proves he's a creep and a piece of shit, but
No,
it doesn't
does-
prove he's a murderer.
It goes to motive as to him wanting to get rid of the kid, right? Because some of it sort of ties in with some of the searches, which were like childless life.
Yeah. Yeah, that one
This guy,
hurts.
he did pretty damning Google searches.
Imagine if he's totally innocent of this and he's like, God damn it, I can't believe I searched childless life. And how hot does it need to be in a car to cook your kid?
Yeah.
Oh, when's the trial going to start? I
He
can't
just had
wait for the
he just
Pigman
had a
trial.
bad day where he was just like he was mad, but he really wasn't going to do that ever. Like just like how hot would it have to be? Okay, I'm not going to do it, but
Right. Let that be a lesson, parents.
Yeah. Careful of your Google
Keep
searches.
your Google searches to a minimum.
And certainly don't Google anything about killing your kid.
No.
Don't do that. If you can avoid it. I know it's hard, but if you can avoid it, please do. Did you see Alexis Arquette died?
I saw that he did die, yeah.
You did?
He died yesterday.
Yes, at the age of 47. Young
3
man-
more years, Mike. 3 more years.
Fuck.
That's you.
Young man led a troubled life. This
Yeah.
is the transgendered Arquette.
He was an actor, apparently.
Yes. They say he was in Pulp Fiction in some of the stories I've read, but I don't
really?
remember him in Pulp Fiction. I remember...
Well, he was probably a dude then, so you got to picture all the dude characters.
No, but there was an Arquette that plays the skanky sister or skanky girlfriend of one of the drug dealers. Trudy, I think, was her name. And
Wasn't him?
I thought it was the other one.
Patricia?
Oh,
fourth man.
Is there? See, look at the list. I thought in Pulp Fiction there was another Arquette in that movie. Then,
Was it Rosanna and Patricia are the two?
yeah, and David.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, they really hush about what happened here, and I don't know. We can only speculate. But she was apparently surrounded by siblings.
He was.
And other loved ones. Rosanna.
Rosanna.
Okay. So someone named Broana Gallagher played Trudy. Go down one more. Rosanna Arquette played Jody. I think she was. You remember the scene when they're plunged the adrenaline shot
Sure.
into the heart?
Who can forget it?
I think she's in those scenes.
Okay.
So, anyway,
But we don't know what he played as the fourth man.
no.
his fourth man.
Yes, it's fourth man, whatever that means. So yeah, the actress died in the early hours Sunday morning, surrounded by siblings and loved ones. Her brother Richmond wrote on Facebook. We haven't heard from any of the other Arquettes, but Richmond Arquette.
No Richmond existed.
I didn't either. Wasn't aware. Said that she passed away at 12:32 a.m. while listening to David Bowie's Starman. Yeah. Paying tribute, he said, I am feeling immense gratitude to have been afforded the luxury of sharing life with him/her. Ooh. Transgender people do not want to hear him/her, do they?
No, I think they want those final statements to be her.
Yeah.
I think they'd be more comfortable with that.
Yeah. So learning from Alexis for being, I'm thankful for learning from Alexis for being given the gift of being able to love him/her. And thank you, Alexis. I love you, and we'll love you always. Did not reveal the cause of death. Was immensely grateful that it was fast and painless. Arquette was born Robert before going to Alexis. Transitioned to a woman in 2006.
Wasn't he most known for The Surreal Life?
That's
was it-
what I remember.
He was like a batshit crazy dude on that, if I'm remembering, or drank a lot. Am I misremembering that?
Nope, you're not. That's what I remember too. It was like one of those where they have all the housemates go out and hang out together and get shit faced. But I guess people would heckle him. You know, I don't know that he transitioned officially at that point, and so people would heckle him. But what I remember is him like turning total man.
Total dude on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck
you want to
you.
fucking go? You want to fucking go? And it was like, yeah, you can't be a dainty lady, and then when it fits the scene,
He's wearing a teddy.
yeah, chucking chairs across the bar and getting into scraps. That's what I remember. Obviously, it's sad. Died at Cedar Sinai, or actually was in a coma for 4 days at Cedar Sinai. I wonder I can't believe they've kept this hush-hush for as long as they have. Boy George added on Twitter, "Rip my sister Alexis Arquette, another bright light gone out far too soon." So, yeah. Poor Alexis. And then Mark Hamill.
What happened? Oh no.
Your boy Luke, he apparently tried to force an abortion on some chick.
Oh, Mark.
Luke Skywalker?
I know.
That doesn't seem like the Force.
It's a wrong use of the Force, right?
Yeah. You will have this abortion.
Megan Chen is this chick's name and is suing to establish paternity, not from him, but from his kid. So Mark Hamill's shitty kid, Nathan, apparently knocked up some chick.
Oh, okay.
And she wants paternity established, and she wants to collect child support for her unborn daughter who's due on Halloween. Chen, a former porn actress, which is nice. I don't know what Mark Hamill's problem is. It's a big deal.
Nice young lady.
So she met Hamill's son, Nathan Hamill, a toy maker, on Tinder.
What?
A toy maker.
He's a toy maker.
Is he a fidget?
No.
At the North Pole? I've never heard anyone described as a toy maker.
He's not. He doesn't work for Santa. Yeah, he's a toy maker. Apparently, it's a toy maker that's on Tinder and hooking up with porn actresses. He went on a first date of New Year's Eve of last year, and after dating for 3 months, the 30-year-old discovered she was pregnant. Since then, Nathan and his parents have pressured her to just fucking get rid of that thing. Terminate. Mark Hamill told me that I shouldn't bring a child into the world that nobody wants. Ooh. Oh, Luke. Oh, Luke. When she first told Nathan she was pregnant, he immediately urged her to get an abortion. Nathan said their relationship was over if she didn't get one, and believes the family thinks she is gold digging. A text message he sent her said, "If you keep it, we won't hang out anymore." She's like, "Whatever. I've got a Jedi in me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna abort a Jedi. Are you crazy?"
If you even can.
Yeah, that's a good point. He also told her that she would get no money from a trust fund and no money from my parents.
What the hell kind of porn star isn't on like 8 different kinds of birth control, by the way?
One that's banging Luke Skywalker's kid.
I guess.
She ended up meeting Luke Skywalker and his wife Marilu York in London in the spring.
Luke Skywalker.
It was there that Luke Skywalker told her that the son is not ready to be a father. Dude, imagine
How
that.
old is this kid? Did they say?
37.
Oh. Okay.
What?
I'm picturing like a 19-year-old or something.
Nah, he's 37. He's a toy maker. Dude, I mean, how do you not have that kid? I mean, your grandfather's Luke Skywalker. Your great-grandfather is Darth Vader.
Anakin, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have that kid. So it was there in London that he said that, my kid's not ready to be a father.
Aunt Leia.
She'd been expecting to get an ultrasound. So Skywalker's wife takes the girl. She's like, "Oh yeah, let's go to the doctor," and she thinks she's going to get an ultrasound, and it's really a meeting for an abortion.
Guy's standing there with a coat hanger.
Yeah, rusty coat hanger, and he's like, just take a load
Lie
off.
still. Lie still.
So she freaked out and got out of there, refused to get an abortion. She returned to the United States, and then got an email from Luke Skywalker's wife. Said, "You blew it. I don't want you to think this is a money-making endeavor because you will be extremely disappointed." And Luke's family is refusing to
What's
talk
Luke
about this.
Skywalker? What is he worth?
I think he's worth like $6 million. Which seems a little low. I mean, they wouldn't have been paid tremendous amounts of money.
I thought he did a lot, though, kind of behind the scenes on shit since then. Like, he hasn't just been sitting still. He's been doing a lot with comic books or something, I heard.
Yeah. I think I looked at his net worth, and it was $6 million, which is great. I'm sure he'll make a shitload more for the next installments. I think they said that between Leia, Luke, and Solo in the last movie, the salaries were $40 million total.
Yeah, your celebrity net worth has it at $6 million.
$6 million, yeah. And I think the bulk of that went obviously to Solo, who had the big prominent role. But $6 million to make that appearance on the fucking island or whatever he was at.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's not a bad.
Well, you got to believe he's pulling residuals from Corvette Summer, too. Remember that movie?
Corvette Summer. I don't remember that.
Oh, Mike.
Seriously, when was this?
It was early 80s, I think. It was him, and I think he like redid a sweet Corvette, and then it got stolen. and it was his attempt to get the Corvette back. You don't remember this at all?
No, when
I think it's the only other movie I can picture him in.
Oh my God!
honestly.
Who you loved in Star Wars? Mark Hamill and Annie Potts.
And that was before he fucked up his face too. So that was right after Star Wars, I believe, and before Empire.
Yeah.
Corvette Summer, no? You don't
Dude.
recognize that car?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not everybody knew that.
Sorry. Is that all he's been in? I think he's done. I think he's done some voice work.
Yeah, voice work and comic book shit. I think he did some really popular voice work. Like, I can't remember who it was, but I thought he was in something big.
Really?
Yeah, doing like a major character in something big. What do we got, E?
This is a page here.
Well, I know he was in the Christmas special, following the Chewbacca family. He was in that. He had a role in that. Transformers, Rescue Bots TV show, Batman.
Oh, he's the Joker. Yeah, the voice of the Joker. I think that was a big deal.
Okay. Lego Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
God, that Lego Star Wars pulled in a bunch of shit, man. Like
Yeah.
the Nintendo Lego.
Yeah. Anyway, should we call Sean Belizean?
Sure.
Should we talk a little football? You got the number there? Yeah. We should dial him up. Oh, so excited. There's promise to this season, Jay. There's promise. I know it's only 1 week.
Oh, boy. It hung in the balance yesterday, Mike. Just think how different you'd be talking right now.
I'd be outraged.
Had one or two plays gone the other way.
Oh, I'd be outraged.
Yeah. Got it, E?
Should be dialing.
Should be.
Should be.
Hello?
Sean.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. It's Mike and Jay. We're live on the Detroit Cast. How
Hey,
are
Sean.
you?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, pal?
Excellent. How you been? You all right?
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good. Thanks for taking some time to join us this morning. We certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Great game last night. I mean, no doubt about it. It was. It had all the fixings for same old lines, didn't it?
Oh,
man.
my God. Dude, I mean, all of us were here watching the game last night, and when Prater missed that extra point, it was like, you got to be shitting me.
The whole city thought that.
This is how they're going to do it. They find unique, interesting ways to blow these games time and time again, and it just seemed like it was ripe for one of those moments.
I don't think people like around the nation understand it. I really don't. I've always felt that way. I don't think that people from other football towns get not only how frustrating it's been being a Lions fan with the lack of winning, but the unique ways that they find to lose games. And I mean, for a while, it looked like the carbon copy of last year's opening game in San Diego. You know what I mean? Getting out to the lead, an Ebron touchdown to put them up 21-3. And, you know, it was like, okay, well, how are you going to blow this? It was, I'll tell you what, Matthew Stafford was just a man on that last drive. I mean, how often have you seen Matthew Stafford get up in the grill of anybody, and on back-to-back plays, he went Dan Marino and got up in the grill on two receivers. I mean,
Dude,
it was really cool to watch.
I thought that was the most telling part of the game. It looked like a Tom Brady move, and if you didn't see it, what Sean's talking about, it was kind of quick. The cameras caught it, but he was so pissed off at Ebron for not looking at him. He's like, dude, we're in a no huddle situation with 30 seconds to go. You fucking look at me. And he's screaming in his face. And then the next play, Jones doesn't get out of bounds. And everybody watching was going, get out of bounds. And Stafford, seeing him light that guy up, it was awesome. It was leadership.
Is it possible he was mic'd for that game? That'd be fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, would that be great? Oh, that would be brilliant. No, I didn't even think about that. And I mean, even giving Jones the headbutt with the helmet and everything, it was tremendous, giving the officials the business and everything. And listen, I don't want to make it into, onward and upward from the season and everything. But in my mind, that was one you had to win yesterday. That was one, with all of the troubles that the Colts had with their offensive line. And quite frankly, it didn't look like it because the Lions didn't have any pressure in the second half of the game. And certainly all of the upheaval that they had in their back end of the secondary and everything. Look, that's a game you should win. And it sets the tempo, at least coming home for a game against Tennessee, and they didn't look good and everything. You lose that game, especially in that manner, and oh my gosh, the crap storm that comes from that is going to be absurd. So, hey, listen, it's a damn good win for a team that needed a win like that.
Mm-hmm. It was, but boy, you flip one or two plays, and we're talking about a completely different scenario. You're just going.
What's the temperature in this town?
That's NFL, I guess.
Had they blown that game and it was Prater's missed extra point, what do you think the temperature in this city is today?
Oh, it's going to be absurd, absolutely absurd. I mean, they're going to go crazy on the defense, and again, hey, listen, a lot's expected of this defense. I mean, no doubt about it. And I think a lot of people, yours truly included, thought that this pass rush was going to at least resemble the pass rush from 2014. Because again, you don't replace Ndamukong Suh. You hope that a few bodies can fill it by committee, much like you don't replace Calvin Johnson. And at least on the offensive side of the ball yesterday, hey, look, again, you don't replace Calvin Johnson, but you have Marvin Jones, and you have Golden Tate, and you have Anquan Bolden making a big play like that.
Oh, how great is he?
Did it by committee. Oh, dude, and what can you say about Theo Riddick? I mean, This is a guy that I think we all thought he was a cute little, novelty with the PPR and everything. Watching him rip off a couple runs, it was fantastic. But I'm a little concerned about the defense right now. I guess I have to try to tell myself that it was Andrew Luck. I think we all have to say, well, it is Andrew Luck. I mean, he's still a damn good quarterback and everything. But that's something to look forward to moving forward. If there's one negative to take out of that game, in my mind, it was the lack of pass rush from really about late second quarter on. It was fish in a barrel, dude. It was. I mean, Andrew Luck could do what he wanted to do back there.
But a possible positive, though, with the D-line is they kept so many D-linemen that maybe they will mix and match, similar to what you just alluded to with the receivers and backs, and sort of create an offense without Megatron. Maybe they can do the same thing on the D-line.
I think that's what they're definitely trying to do. Good call. And you know what? The thing you have to remember, especially with, defensive tackles, Sean Robinson, second-round pick, I know there are a lot of expectations with him, as well there should be, but it takes a little time at that position. That's a position where guys don't usually come in and make a big mark. Certainly, Ndamukong Suh is an exception to that rule. So it was nice to see, Hyder carry it over because he did it in the fourth football game, and you go, oh, that's cute. You want to pinch the little cheeks and say, oh, good, you made the football team. But, to see him carry that over what was good, and you got Ziggy on one side, you got Devin Taylor on the other end. That front seven as a whole, I'll include the linebackers, should be better than what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, how I was so impressed with Hyder. I think he had 2 sacks on the day, and he had pressure at other times. Is he the real deal? Do you think?
Hey, it's a great question because again, this is a guy that if you ask everybody that follows the team, the beat writers, everybody, is this guy going to make the football team before that last exhibition game? Everybody would have said no. I mean, everybody would have said no. He went out there. I mean, I can't blame anybody if they didn't watch that game in its entirety against the Bills. It's fake football after all, but he went out there and was just a beast. And, it really forced the coaching staff hand to make a spot for him on the team, to give him one of those 53. And, in a salary cap league, guys, that's hard to do, to carry that extra D lineman and everything. He looks the part, and it all comes back to, listen, when you have multiple pieces that you have to be aware of, it's going to open something up for somebody else. So, now I think when teams are game planning for the Lions, they're going to say, well, I guess I got to pick my poison here. Do we double this guy? Do we double that guy? Do we bring a backup to block this guy and everything? So that's a nice problem to have when you have multiple pieces up there that can really cause some damage.
What did you think? We haven't, DeAndre Levy, when we last saw him, was a budding superstar in this league at the linebacker position, and then he had the hip issues last year, missed almost the whole year, and we kind of didn't know what we were going to get with him. What did you think of him at the linebacker role?
I thought that they struggled a little bit. I did. I think Tahir Whitehead was everywhere. That's a good sign. And again, that's a guy, I don't think a lot of people had expectations about him, and he just goes out and gets the job done.
Couple hugely
Kyle Van
blown
Noy is
coverages,
another-
though.
Yeah.
Couple
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. Oh, no doubt. I think a lot of times with guys like that, so what you're kind of hoping for is to make the tackles when they present themselves, and you hope that there's some other guys to pick up pieces. I was a little disappointed. Obviously everybody's going to talk about Van Noy and the taunting rule, and I guess there are two ways to look at it. I heard some people say, well, oh my gosh, that's a dumb rule. Okay, fine, we can have that conversation. But these guys are aware of that rule. They know that now. You can't do something stupid like that. That's the rule. It is what it is, and you're gonna get flagged if you do something stupid like that. And Van Noy, Kyle looked so good in exhibition season. It kind of showed why they moved up in the draft a couple years ago to take him. And I just didn't get much of an impact from the linebacking core, and that's a little disappointing. Hopefully that's something they can fix. I don't know about you guys. I like Austin. Austin is a guy that is shown on his watch. I mean, there's a reason that this guy's been a head coaching candidate at a few different places now.
Yeah.
Austin's a guy that is shown on his watch that he can make adjustments. He had a great defense in 14. I think maybe he doesn't get enough credit last year for kind of getting that defense on the right path after struggling early on. So I think the adjustments will be made, and I think there's pretty good talent on that defensive side of the ball. So maybe I'm not as worried about that as the other guy might be. But, we'll see, because Levy has to be an impact player. I mean, he does. He has to be an impact player, and he's one of the most intense dudes personally and on the field. Maybe it was just a case of shaking off some rust.
Well, what do you think about this team going forward? I mean, what are your expectations for the Detroit Lions this season?
You know what? I originally thought 6 wins, and I'll tell you why I thought 6 wins. I didn't think that the offensive line would come together as quickly. Again, it's one game, but I thought the offensive line did a good job yesterday.
Yeah.
And they did a good job not only protecting Matthew Stafford, but actually creating some space for the running backs. I mean, give Abdullah credit, give Theo credit, but I think you also have to give the offensive line credit. If that is a sign of things to come, I think a lot of people like me that thought 6, 7 wins, I think we're going to have to rethink that, honestly, because that was the concern of the Detroit Lions team heading into this season. And I know it was the concern down there as well. So I think it's a case, guys, where if that is a sign of things to come, we might all have to rethink 6 wins. I don't want to go too crazy about a week 1 win or anything like that.
It's a big road win against a top-tier quarterback, though. You got to admit.
You got it.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yep.
Andrew Luck threw for almost damn near 400 yards and 4 touchdowns at home. He should win those games, and you got to give the Lions a lot of credit for pulling that out.
Absolutely. It's so easy to jump on the Lions, and trust me when I say this, I've been as guilty of it as anybody else, and you know what? Most of the time they've deserved it. But I'm with you. I'm trying to keep this game on its own. Not put it on a pedestal, but just say, hey, listen, season opener, you went to Indy, they were beat up, you took advantage of some of that, and you found a way to win the football game. Cool. You move on and think about Tennessee now.
There you go.
Hey, Sean, if you got one more minute, I'd love to get your take on some college football.
Yeah, I got as long as you want, guys.
Yeah, we've got, obviously, a huge game for the Spartans going to Notre Dame this weekend, facing a Notre Dame team that's 1-1. They lost a tough one early on to Texas in, double overtime or whatever. Pretty depleted secondary there at Notre Dame. Is Tyler O'Connor gonna pick that team apart, or how do you see that game going?
Originally when the season started, I thought this one was a loss. I did, and the reason I thought it was a loss is because, the one thing you've seen on D'Antonio, I don't think he gets enough credit personally for just having that situation where he reloads, where you lose some big players and people say, well, how are you going to replace that? Boom, he replaces it. Next man up kind of mentality and everything. And I didn't think that maybe it would materialize as quickly as we'd all like, especially early in the season. The bye week is massive. There's no doubt about that. I mean, they had so much tape to watch from the Texas game, and obviously they just got tape from the Nevada game. And this is a situation, I think Michigan State can go in there and beat them. No doubt about it. I really liked, personally, Notre Dame this year. I really liked them, and I thought that they had an outside chance of getting to the college football playoff. And then I watched that defense on opening night. I mean, as it were, opening Sunday night. I mean, that defense was horrific. Texas was able to carve them up, especially late, any which way they wanted. So I thought that, seeing that with my own two eyes, look, O'Connor, we can talk all we want about being a first-time starter. I mean, this is a guy that's been in the program for a long time. And lest we forget, this is a guy that found a way to go down to Ohio State and manage a game and a victory against Ohio State. So I give Michigan State a tremendous chance to go into Notre Dame and do it. They're going to be okay. I cannot stand, it's almost a yearly event now, going back a few years, oh my gosh, Michigan State looks so bad. Hey, listen, nothing good can come from those games when you're playing the caliber of opponent like Furman, or in Michigan's case, Hawaii, because what happens? You pound Hawaii and you pound Furman, and people say, well, that's what you're supposed to do. And if you have a
but you'd rather
game,
pound them.
You don't want a close game
than look less than stellar like they did against Furman.
Well, I'll say this. I think people forget, there was the 2013 season where they struggled with Western, and I was at the game where they really, really struggled with South Florida, and people were saying, it's the worst defense of all time, or worst offense of all time and everything. I really think that Mark D'Antonio is a guy that slow plays. I think he's a guy that doesn't show too much in games like this. Let's just survive it, advance, and then we'll do what we do. And the reason I say that, if there wasn't a litany of games where D'Antonio has done that, I mean, I can think of them right off the top of my head, a Florida Atlantic game, a South Florida game, a couple games against Western. And Furman, I guess it wouldn't feel that way, but it seems like that's kind of his M.O. now. Hey, listen, with that being said, I mean, Michigan looks awesome, and I think everybody knew that they were going to be really good. I guess my question would be, what did we find out about Michigan in those first two games that we didn't already know? And that's why those games sometimes, to me, nothing good can come from them. There's just nothing good that can come from it, because nobody's going to come away from that going, ooh and ah,
Yeah. Well, they're doing, as Jay said, they're doing what they're supposed to do, which is, you're expected to blow a team out. You blew them out. That's all you can ask of them. They've got a better test this week. Who are they playing, Colorado or Colorado State? Colorado. Yep. Do you expect any surprises there? I mean, at Michigan Stadium.
Yeah, well, Colorado had a big win in week one against Colorado State in particular, and it's funny because I've read a couple places, and one of the guys, and I really respect Kirk Herbstreit. I think Kirk Herbstreit does his homework, and he's as fair as the day is long. He said that Colorado might be one of his surprises this year. Well, being a surprise and going into Michigan are two different things in my mind. I think Michigan will win big. And, the interesting question will be, is this the year that they can knock off Michigan State? Is this the year that they can knock off Ohio State? Because, it all goes back to, I always say, Bo was right all those years ago. You have to take care of business in your conference first. Everything that you want happens after that. And that's something that Michigan hasn't been able to do. They haven't been able to take care of business in their conference. They haven't mixed in a conference championship, a co-conference championship, or a divisional championship since 2004. So, yeah, I mean, that's where it all starts, especially with an out-of-conference like this. Let's be honest, you would expect them to go unbeaten in this conference. I think it'd be a major shocker if they didn't go unbeaten in this out-of-conference schedule. And then the real stuff starts. And to me, it all comes down to, are you able to take advantage against those two teams in the division? I don't want to look past that night game in Kinnick Stadium either. But, if you need evidence that, you can knock off Ohio State and you can knock off Michigan State on the road.
Both on the road.
Michigan State did it last year. Michigan State went into Columbus and won. Michigan State went into Ann Arbor and won. So it can happen. There's no doubt about that. But right now, boy, Michigan looks darn good.
Yeah. Well, Sean, it's been a blast talking to you this morning, man. Thank you so much for giving us the time. We certainly appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Guys, call anytime. Seriously.
Yeah, we will. We'll call you either.
We will.
Yeah, don't worry. We will for sure. It's nice to have a Lions insider, a college football insider. So thanks again, Sean. Have a great week, and we'll try to catch you next week.
Be good, guys. We'll see you.
Okay, man. Take care.
Later.
Bye. There you go, Sean Belizean.
God,
Yeah, he's good.
knowledgeable, dude.
God,
So and so hasn't won a conference champion since 2004. Like,
rattling
shit.
off games.
Yeah.
I'm trying
I'd
to
be like, God, when's the last time Michigan won a conference? I don't know, maybe 2010.
I don't
E,
get-
look it up. E takes 10
Yeah.
minutes. Dude, I think it's 2008.
I didn't-
Fuck, dude, it's 2004. You know, that would be the process.
Yes, we do that all the time. Without a Google machine, we're basically morons.
Yeah.
it's remarkable to me. It's like Florida Atlantic and
I
06.
mean, we've
You're
seen
like, what?
D'Antonio do this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
he's a
can't
pro.
imagine being that knowledgeable about that stuff. Those guys really are good at their shit. So thank you
Appreciate
to
his
him.
time.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick timeout, and oh man, I gotta show you this poops that collapsed on the street.
No. What kind of poops?
Yeah, horse poops.
An equine poops.
Ooh, get out the gun.
Glue factory.
No, he might be
He's all
okay.
right.
I think he's exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that and more next.
The Detroit Cast. The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zod Ford and Holly. We're much closer than you think, and we specialize in getting folks out of their lease up to 12 months early. It doesn't matter what brand or how many miles you have on it. The team at Zod Ford will assist in terminating your current lease with no penalties and hook you up with a sweet new Ford. So dump your overpriced, over-mileage lease and let your friends at Zod Ford make your wildest dreams come true. Check out our astonishing deals and massive inventory at ZodFord.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay.
You know, Mike, over the break, we were talking a little bit more football.
Yeah.
Obviously, football was on the mind. And talking about Michigan and how they had that era with Rich Rod and what's his name after that.
Brady Hoke.
Yeah.
This is Michigan. Going to Michigan.
And I made the statement, God, you know, what if Rich Rod never came and it was gross. And it was Les Miles, you know,
Yeah.
from LSU, as was reported and expected. And you...
I declared at that point that had that happened, I would have been out there at, you know, game day with my sign that said, "We need a new car, CARR, play on Lloyd Carr, with Les Miles, LES."
Genius. I wanted you to say that on the air because even though we're way past that point in time where
Yeah.
anyone would come up with that,
Yeah.
had someone come up with that down the line, hearkening back to the situation as we just did, I wanted you to be on record as having
Thank you.
It's genius,
well,
Mike.
I
it's
agree.
right there with your perfume sales.
Yes, my perfume sales, which I never really got off the ground and didn't have tremendous. I had tremendous success with the white hairs in the neighborhood, the blue hairs.
Yeah.
The women, white diamonds. You don't know what to get your Nana for Christmas. White Diamonds by
right?
Liz Taylor.
Wow.
It's the one.
Still?
As far as I know, yeah. If you're ancient, you're into Liz Taylor's White Diamonds.
I have not seen your Nana this happy in years.
But my slogan was buy sense, SCENTS, save sense, CENTS,
Love it.
make sense, SEN.
Absolutely love it. Genius. I mean, that is like, that's $1 million slogan.
Yeah. No
God
one's taking
damn
it that I know. You know, we're probably going to get emailed from 100 people going, "You fucking fag." There were 100 people with, "I wouldn't need a new car with Les Miles" signs on game day at that time. I don't remember seeing that. I remembered thinking that would be my sign there. If I go, I'm trying to go to a Giants game in San Francisco, and I wanted to hold a sign up. If Bumgarner's pitching,
Yeah, I don't like this one as much. But
that
go
just
ahead.
said our ace is a bum. It's not bad. And I, you know, maybe someone will go, "People have been having a bum signs in San Francisco for years."
Yeah, I'm not. It's all right.
It's not.
I'd be like, our pitcher's a gardener.
But he's
That's
but,
good.
But
Thank
your
you, E.
your ace isn't supposed to be a bum. Like it
I
wouldn't
get
make
it.
sense if he was
neither would he
truly
be a
a
gardener.
horse.
Yeah, it would be weird if he was a gardener too. Equally.
Yeah. Even if it's black lettering and then you did orange lettering for bum,
I don't know.
nothing.
Orange lettering for a bum.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
orange and
I'm
black,
starting
the
not
color
to
of the
get
I know
it.
the
I'm
color.
starting not to get it now. I was sort of like, oh yeah, but nah.
Oh man, I can't win in this room. But I never got a chance to do my brilliant
Yeah.
new car with Les Miles signage.
Opportunity lost.
Yeah, and I apologize if there's some kid out there in Ann Arbor that's like, "Fuck you, I actually had that sign out there. I just didn't see it." Yeah. It's okay.
Hey, are you itching to dump your funk-filled grocery getter, Mike?
E, is he talking specifically to you, that piece of shit out in my
Yeah.
It's Mr. Fady's third car.
Dude, it's ridiculous. I looked at it the other day. There are tennis rackets. I don't know.
Tennis rackets.
50 bags of Wendy's.
When is the last time you played? You and Chubbs.
I just played tennis yesterday. That's
Tai
why they're
Chung
there.
Gross.
Bro. Yeah.
Can you picture E playing tennis?
I'm not bad at tennis.
Really?
No. I have a decent back.
You were inspired by the Paralympics we were watching the other day, weren't you?
Well, no, I've actually wanted to play for a while. I played tennis in high school. I was on
that
the
right?
team in tennis in high school. Now I didn't do good, but I was on the team. You didn't
Jay,
have to try out.
His windows are down. His wallet is sitting
I-
right there. There's cash in a cup,
Yeah.
like a 5 and a bunch of 1s. I'm not even kidding, 50 Wendy's bags, a pizza, tennis rackets, beer. I mean, it's a robber's dream. The keys are usually in it. It's incredible.
I know.
So yes, he's looking for a new ride.
He's-
I
Distinct
actually put this out on Snapchat the other day. I had my worst version of leaving keys in a situation. I went into some place, you know, blah blah blah. Came back a few hours later, and I'm like, God, I don't have my keys.
Why aren't you telling us what place it was?
It's just a theater, no big deal. I went to a movie by myself. If you really want to know.
Oh yeah, we
What'd you
learned.
see? E. Sully?
No, I saw this movie. I don't remember what it's called, but it was a movie. It was actually really good. It was a movie based on like
You don't remember what it was called?
I can't remember what it was called, but it was a movie based on like an improv group, and one person is starting to make it, and the other people in the improv group are dealing with like the reality of maybe we won't all make
Is this
it.
a documentary?
No, it's like an indie kind of film or whatever.
Was this on Thursday you went?
Friday, actually. No, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah.
Dude,
Thursday.
While you were gone a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
we learned that E has a routine on Thursday when he leaves here.
Yeah.
His dad thinks he still has a job, and so
It's a Costanza situation.
he can't go home. And so I always wondered why. Like, you'll leave on a Thursday and E will hang out and just rah, 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 rah. I'm like, dude, fucking beat it. It's because he's got nowhere to go. So he'll either go to like Starbucks or go to a movie by himself. He can't go home till like 9 o'clock at night.
Oh my God.
So he has to kick around town. He'll like grab. That's why he's always like, Chubbs, you want to go to Ann Arbor to the art fair? It's always on a Thursday.
Hi, Mrs. Fady, by the way.
Yeah, good morning, Mrs. Fady.
But the point of the whole real story is that I take my hoodie off and I'm like, oh, I guess my keys were in my hoodie. They weren't. My car was left unlocked with the keys on the dashboard for 2 hours.
Fucking asshole.
Just sitting there.
How does he have the grill? How does he maintain a car?
I don't know.
How does it not get stolen?
I mentioned Sully a moment ago.
Yeah.
You guys going to see Sully?
Probably at
How
some
can-
point.
You know what? I
Why?
actually did see
Why?
that, though. I saw that with my dad.
You did?
Yes.
I just
And?
asked you if you saw Sully.
No, that wasn't the movie I saw by myself. I saw 2 movies. You know what? It was weird. It wasn't that bad.
How do you make a friggin' movie out of the fact that that guy landed on,
You know
on the Hudson?
Do you remember-
That's it, right?
No, here's the thing,
There's
though.
a whole backstory to this guy that we need to learn.
Well, no, I guess I just didn't realize it, but there was this whole thing. I don't know how much you remember, but
Yeah, the geese. They flew into the
no,
engine.
but
They
there was a whole
landed on the Hudson.
investigation, and he was actually up for like whether it was whether he was at fault as a pilot, and there was a whole not FAA, but I forget what the
I think you're right.
organization.
Yeah, FAA.
No, but that wasn't the organization that was putting him on trial. Someone was putting him on trial. It wasn't good. I mean, it wasn't good. But it was.
It was Tom Hanks,
Yeah,
right?
not even with the great Tom Hanks.
It was more about this backstory of whether he was going to be charged as pilot error in the end, and then he came out victorious.
I guess I don't remember that being an issue at all. I
No,
remember
no,
him, like on
he being a
Letterman and shit
hero.
right away. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was trumpeted as a hero right away.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
that's
God
what
for his 50
Sully.
years of service.
Yeah.
As a pilot, he knew how to handle this.
No, I agree, and that's the point. I thought that's what I went in thinking the same thing. Like, I don't understand. What's it going to be half an hour? And in the end, he wins the thing. But I guess there was an
I was hoping for an
investigation.
alternate ending.
Right?
Damn it.
He was a hero after all, apparently. But no, there was an investigation, and for a little bit, and it was like going through him and his wife, and the stress of the investigation, I guess. And there wasn't much to it. You could have told it in a half an hour.
Yeah. Are you itching to dump your funk-filled grocery getter? That's where we were. You want to drive the freshest, safest, funnest SUV on the market? Then we highly suggest you visit our friends at Zott Ford and at I-75 and Exit 98. There you can lease the all-new 2017 Ford Escape SE for just $199 with zero cash due at signing. Yup, the hottest SUV on the market for just $199 a month with zero cash due. Only from our friends at Zott Ford and Holly. Surf their groovy deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com. It says groovy right there.
Poots, did you write that, Groovy?
I did not write that.
You just reading it?
Just reading it.
Poops. Lazing in the street.
He's supine in the thoroughfare.
Yeah.
What's he
Is
doing?
that drool by his mouth, or is that?
No, that's Norman.
What happened to Norman?
Norman is a 14-year-old carriage horse, and he allegedly collapsed in the busy streets of Manhattan.
Oh, he pulled a Hillary.
He did pull a Hillary.
A little hot out there on. Yesterday.
Apparently, the driver was whipping him to get him to make a green light, and he'd had enough.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it. 14 years of that shit.
Yeah, and so
Equine abuse.
Bogdan Angeluda was coming out of a nightclub, Ibiza, and he saw the driver screaming at poor Norman before he collapsed on the streets at 2 a.m.
Are you serious? You woke it up.
Screaming. He saw the events unfold. Right
Unfold,
there. Wow.
exactly. The horse's caretaker claims that, look, he tripped and fell. Norman tripped and fell. It's no big deal.
Hard to believe. He's been doing this 14 years.
Yeah. And if
He's a
you're
pro.
Norman, I mean, he's like, I'm on all four hands. How do I trips and fall? It's
It's
almost
like a table.
impossible.
He's like a friggin' table.
Exactly. A table doesn't trip and fall. If I was just up on my backhands, maybe, but I'm on all fours. I'm 100% positive the driver was forcing him to make the light. And this 1,700-pound beast laid on the ground for 20 minutes. Oh, man, I'm just exhausted. asshole. won't
But he
stop
got up and
whipping.
he's okay. Come on, Norman.
Yes. He's laying there in the middle of the street for 20 minutes. Poor Norman. Oh, man. Police blocked off the intersection, and 5 or 6 men from the horses' stables came by. They had a bucket of water, and they put something in the horse's mouth, and they told everybody to leave the horse alone. Poor Norman. He was finally helped back up. He said, "Thank you, everybody. Thanks for getting me back on my hands." They said that there was no need to worry. Yeah, that's what he was quoted as saying.
Oh, okay.
Can I get some carrots, please? Anybody got some carrots?
Some oats.
The incident has shaken this guy that took this photo. He sent the photos to the animal rights group NY Class, New York Class, and a spokesman for the carriage industry said Norman was heading back to his home. He didn't collapse. He tripped himself. He's kind of a klutz. So they're laying this on Norman big time. Poor guy. I didn't trips and fall. I was exhausted. The guy wouldn't stop whipsing me and trying to make me run red lights.
I didn't realize those carriages ran that late at night. I don't know. I just didn't think
2
they
in the
ran.
morning?
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, they work us all hours of the day.
Coming home. You imagine coming home at a nightclub and getting, instead of a cab or a lift, let's take a carriage home.
Hey, David Helm wants to remind you that nobody can do what they do. Helm Law
Nobody.
is a full-service law firm built on the model of providing the best legal services to its clients throughout Michigan. So if you enjoy making love behind dumpsters with random women, or if you let your children run wild at the zoo, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com. They offer free consultations. If you tell them you support the Detroit Cast, you'll get 15% off.
Remember the Florida teenager, the black kid who was pretending to be a doctor?
Definitely. And he worked at like a car dealership or something afterwards, right?
Something like that. Well, he's facing new charges in Virginia now after the police say he tried to buy a luxury car at a dealership. This guy just can't learn, man. Malaki Love Robinson,
Yeah,
Dr. Love.
Of course.
He was arrested on Friday and charged with identity theft and other fraud. He tried to buy a Jaguar, and staff at the car dealership got suspicious when he applied for a car loan with an elderly woman as his co-signer on the loan. He initially submitted an online inquiry for the Jaguar, but that was sold. And so he shows up with this old bird, like, yeah, she's going to co-sign for me. And they're trying to get him a Lexus. And he reportedly also said that he was a doctor making $120,000 a year.
How old is he really?
I think he's 19. So he, which raised a red flag when they're like, why would a doctor making $120,000 a year need some old bird here to co-sign? The employees called the sheriff's office after looking up his name on the internet. As soon as they did that, they saw the things come up. Deputies then went to the car dealership where they spoke to Love Robinson, who said he came to buy a car for himself and another for this godmother of his.
Yeah.
The woman told deputies she had not given this dude permission to be listed as a co-signer on the loan. Last month, he was busted for 2 charges of grand theft and fraud. This dude's obviously a smart guy, right?
Imagine what is on this guy's horizon. Look at the level of scheme he's pulling at 19.
It's unreal.
Right?
The balls. Where do you get the balls?
I don't know.
I mean, think about when we were 19, dude. There's no way
Nuh-uh.
that you would, dude, he had a doctor's office. Not just a lab coat and a stethoscope. He had employees.
Yeah, no, the extent of our schemes was like pulling off buying a keg or some shit.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah, I had no employees at 19.
No.
Nor did I want any.
He claims to have a doctorate, by the way, from the Universal Life Church.
There you go.
Which, if you're not familiar with it, you can go get one of those too for $29.95.
Gotcha.
You can print one of those off. His new lawyer is reportedly delaying this case until November, while his attorney considers an insanity plea. Like, they've gotten to that point with the dude.
Hey, so remember, if you've been dirt-faced,
Well, the dirt face, of course, was real scary.
call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com to set up your free consultation. Tell them you support the Detroit Cast. You get 15% off.
I need an attorney, and I need one now.
Hey, and don't forget about Helm's Open House on September 22nd at 598 North Mill Street, Plymouth, Michigan, 48170. Go see Helm at his new office. It's expanding. You get to see the palatial spread and obviously sit down with David, ask him whatever questions you have, and legal issues, hit him upside the head with those.
Yeah. A South Carolina woman has been awarded more than $4.6 million.
Ooh, this must have been bad. Must have been some fingering of a vagine.
Nope, no fingering of vagines. She was in a Target parking lot. She saw green. I imagine.
Dude, I heard about this. This is bullshit.
Is this total bullshit? This is.
I don't. She was injured, but 4.6 mil.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell the story.
Jury awarded the sum to Carla Garrison. They said it'd be one of the largest in the country's history if it stands. So she's in the Target parking lot when her 8-year-old daughter, Kaylee, picked up a hypodermic needle. And so she goes and slaps the needle out of her daughter's hand, and it gets stuck in her palm. And so she had to get HIV testing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give her those AIDS. She had to get tested for that and all kinds of other things. She had to start taking meds to prevent from getting the HIV. And so the husband had to take time off work to care for her. And they claim that they went to Target and said, it happened in your parking lot. Give us $12,000 to cover medical expenses and the husband being off work, and we're cool. And Target apparently was like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Here's $750. And they're like, all right, well, we'll go to trial. And so they went to trial, and a jury awarded him $4.6 million. And so now it's at the point of like,
there's no way the facts support that. They'll get overturned.
You think so?
Knocked down.
Yeah.
They've obviously won. They're going to get damages, but they won't get 4.6.
What do you think? I mean, obviously you can't answer. I mean, is that something like $1 million?
What does the guy
like
make?
$100,000?
What did she really go through?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to keep tabs on that. That
to
sounds
the
like
Astronum file.
It sounds like one of those McDonald's, the
coffee.
Yeah, the coffee spill story. Which didn't we see pictures recently of that old bird's vagine?
Yeah, we were talking. Oh, what the hell? You know, a little coffee in the lap. Somebody's like, no. Check this out. Have you ever looked at this? It's freaking old bird's crotch. Just seared.
Yeah, it was bad. And she didn't end up getting anywhere near that. What was reported?
Oh, I thought but she initially got like 80 million or something.
Yeah, or 100 million something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then lastly, before we get to some email, Jay, a man is recovering in the hospital after his mistress's husband allegedly chopped off his dick and balls.
This is happening more and more.
I don't like it. And then chucked it.
Yeah.
This is Lorena Bobbitt all over again. His relatives found it 2 hours later, more than 200 feet away in a street after coaxing his attacker to reveal what he did with it. Can you imagine how humiliating would that be to like have your mom and your dad and your brother out there searching for your dog?
What'd you do with it? Not telling.
Not saying a word.
Not telling.
They're in Vietnam, by the way. So no, they're not saying anything. He was banging my wife. And they're like, please, just tell us where his Penusa meat is. And finally he's like, fine, it's somewhere in the vicinity over there. And so his whole family is searching for it. And, I mean, even if you make that discovery, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching G's dick if it gets lopped off. I might call Kristen over or something. Like,
yeah, I think you do the thing where when you take a dog for a walk, you got the plastic bag. You kind of reach for the poop with the bag around your hand.
Dude, I can't even do it with a plastic bag. It'd have to be like a big towel because you don't even want to be feeling the texture of it,
Some
right?
Tongs.
I think the most I could do is like move it with my foot like into the road. Like, hey, I think I found something.
Into the road.
Like if it's in the weeds or something, like finding a golf
brother's
ball.
dick roll over into the.
It's like, yeah, I think I found something. Hey, little help over here, little help.
Yeah, but when you do that with your foot on stuff, you always end up squishing stuff more than you want to. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I'd be afraid of the Penoozle meat. I wouldn't want to totally mess it up. He's my brother, you know. I'd be like, Chet needs his dick back.
So would you pick it up for him?
I don't know. I think I'd do that. Hey, I found something.
Yeah,
you know?
It looks to be a Panoose.
Yeah, medical personnel, someone other than
Mom,
me, come over here.
Can you identify this Panoose, please?
Yeah.
The doctor Van Dong, not kidding. Dr. Nguyen Van Dung took a half day to reattach this son of a bitch. The drama started after Van Hoon suspected his wife was banging this dude and secretly followed her to a hotel before bursting in on her and this dude. I don't understand how that. So, okay, you burst in the room. Like, then what? Hold steer. Like, what do? Wrestle the guy down? Hold steer. Grab his dick and start.
I don't know.
Poor guy. He's apparently in stable condition. They don't know yet if it's going to take. It might reject his Panoose. I thought you established a pretty bright line.
It's so life-altering. People have got to stop doing this. This is like, you'd almost rather be dead.
Yeah, agreed. God,
I'd just have the Panoose just shorn right, just level with the pelvic region. You got nothing there. You got no hog sitting there. You're just
nothing.
Shorn right down.
Yeah, to the base.
to the pavement.
Would you want him to take it midway?
That'd be sort of like insult to injury.
You think?
Like, oh, I got this little thing sitting there.
At least you got something.
I don't want to think about it. Hey, got to mention our Amazon link. Please use it, everybody. DetroitCast.com. There you'll find a link to Amazon. Everybody's using Amazon nowadays, so please use ours. If you listen to the show, you're getting it for free. We just ask that you support our sponsors with great vigor, and also use our Amazon link. We get a bit of a kickback. They don't raise prices on you, so it's an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. It's helpful. Mike, we have some email.
What do we got?
Well, Mark writes in concerning E's stomping of grapes yesterday.
Yes.
So Big E has a chance to win a prize for stomping his diseased feet for 5 minutes, and all he can think about is the prize. Prize 1, fruit, and 2, massage don't appeal to him. If he could pull his head out of his self-absorbed ass, could he maybe think of someone who might appreciate these gifts?
Mm-hmm.
E, can you think? I'm not even going to give you the answer.
Yeah, of course, I get it. I just was saying if you thought about it. I didn't even expect to get a prize, by the way. I really was shocked
So you
that I
were
even
thrown. You didn't know what to do.
I'm just saying, if for me, that was the best. Yes, if I'd gotten those, that's where they would have gone. They would have gone to someone I would have known. I would not have just gotten the edible.
Who would they have gotten?
My mom.
There you go.
I would not have just gotten edible fruits and just ate them at home. But like, well, this was a great prize.
What about Mandy or something?
You sent her
Mandy's
soaps. She
She's
seemed to
married
appreciate
by
that
now.
before.
Married.
Yeah, but if you're caught up in the world of uphill climbing, tears are in my this could be your way back in, Oh man, well you came and you gave without taking, but sent you away, oh Mandy.
I get so that's what a unfair assessment of the situation. I'm not saying that if I got those I wouldn't have given, but I didn't get those anyway. I just said once I got it, I said, hey, for me, this was the best prize anyway. That's all I said.
Be better trained.
Yeah, Mark suggests maybe the woman who raised you seemingly
I've bought
tolerates
her one
your
time.
38-year-old ass living in her basement. Hi, Miss Fady.
Okay,
No, the tard wants to go jump on trampolines.
That's not even what it wasn't like I had a choice. It wasn't like
But if you did have the choice, you would have picked that. You said
not for me. Oh, whatever. Whatever. Over it.
Mike writes in. Mike writes in concerning assault rifles versus assault weapons. And usually, again, this is Mike. He's a thoughtful, well-spoken lad. He's using talk to type, unfortunately. So this is what we get. It has to go, Mike. Stop with the talk to type.
Yeah.
Okay? Because this is what you're saying to us. You want to give us a salient point on an issue.
How do you know he's using it? Does he say it?
I'll let you decide. Mike races Do Your King Hard and Slug on the recent podcast you spoke about Anna Lanza. Using an assault rifle to shoot the children at Sandy Hook. He did not use an assault rifle. Assault rifle is a fully automatic weapon capable of a single shot. First fire for full auto rate of fire at assault weapon is something like an AR-15, which is a semi-automatic one-shot, one trigger pull. The M16, which is the colored part of the AR-15, is the assault rifle. The AR-15 is the assault weapon. Thank you very much for Duchess Gunther.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing as him. It's confusing sometimes when you're dealing with an AR versus an M16, but
they haven't mastered the talk to type.
They haven't even come close.
Not even close.
Yeah, they're not even trying.
Cheryl writes in, Big E has some big balls. Oh, how does Cheryl know?
Well, E, confirm?
I don't.
Relatively speaking, are the balls...
I think they're average to small.
Yeah?
To be honest with you. They're not big. I don't know.
Why would you think they're small?
I don't know.
I think he's comparing it to TCG.
Yes.
He's got huge balls, apparently.
For
he
an
talks
Asian,
about him
it's
off the air
incredible.
all the time. It's like, oh, again, with TCG's giant balls, we get it.
Hi, fellas. Like most ladies who listen to TDC, I'm not a huge fan of Big E.
Yeah.
But credit is due.
Neither are we.
Credit is due to Big E for walking away from that racist fuckface. It took balls to say, I'm going over here now, and walk away. This, of course, refers to the Mackinac City wingman that he came across.
Yeah.
E, good job. Kudos.
What
Now
did the
go
guy
wash
say?
your
There's too
greasy
many
plume.
There's too many N-words on the dance floor or something, and he was like, okay, well,
He said that, and I didn't know what to say, and then he said flat out, just like, I don't exactly know how he said it, but he said, I just don't like people of that color. Or just flat out. I was like, okay.
And okay, I'm going to go over here now.
All right.
Good luck for the rest of the evening, fine sir.
I'm sorry I affiliated with you.
Is he getting too much credit? That seems like an automatic walk away
Yes,
from.
of course. I can't even comprehend a situation where someone would stand there and be okay with that. So, I would say that.
I think a lot of people would giggle, nervously.
Like, okay.
yeah.
But then just sort of
give someone the benefit of the doubt that maybe they're trying to bad joke here.
He was definitely not kidding, though. I would say that. I think it was very obvious that he wasn't kidding, though. But you're right. I don't think I did anything special. I just think I did what you should do.
Nick writes in, apparently from his BlackBerry 10 smartphone. Do they make Blackberries anymore? Shit.
Hillary was using one for a long time.
Yeah, until the hammer got to it.
Yeah, right.
Blackberries? Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems very 2004 to me, but
Nick
whatever.
writes in, Mr. DCast, not only do I remember the McDonald's promotion that you guys spoke about yesterday, you guys used it as a music bed for something not too long ago. It was the French fry interview, wasn't it?
Okay. Well, I used two different McDonald's things. I used an old commercial that sounded like it was off of vinyl, which could have been it, which was the Big Mac's or the McDonald's song. Yeah. He's probably right.
Well, Nick thinks it might have been used prior to. He forgets which. Anyway, here's a link to what that song was. The guy wrote it on Sunday's episode, so we'll check that out. Love the show. Always, you guys make working 7 days a week not torture. Oh, working 7 days a week.
Wow.
Nick.
He's working for the weekend, Jay.
Take a break.
He's
not
lover
even.
boy.
He's working on the weekend.
I know.
My God.
Poor
Goodbye,
guy.
BUI Nick. Oh, Nick. Tony writes in, this is not a boner pill or hitman. It's only a Zot Ford prop. Dear King, cult leader, post-birth abortion candidate, and Mrs. Fady. Spent my late afternoon and evening the other day with the hottest sales staff in Oakland County to effectuate the purchase of a new Ford motor car. The dealership looks great after its recent remodel. Gabarra seems to have fully recovered from his Panouse reduction surgery. Biggie was nowhere to be found, which is a huge positive. And the sales staff is inarguably hot. I'd be remiss to neglect Renee from Specific Mention. She checks the hotness box.
Agreed.
But is also a skilled peddler of automobiles. She put together a deal for me that was retard-proof, including the trade-in of my old car. This is the second car that my old lady and I have purchased from Renee at Zot. In fact, I believe my old lady and I have gotten 2 cars from Renee as well.
I've gotten one from Renee as well.
There will be more. She's a good woman. I consistently use the Amazon link. Thank you, Tony. There's very little that Amazon doesn't have. That's correct.
Heard that.
And have frequented the majority of the sponsors, all of whom have provided great value to me. Helm Law will be getting a call soon as I get popped for going 102 in a 70 in my new turbocharged panty dropper. One suggestion, could you please add an Asian massage parlor to the sponsor pool?
God, that would be awesome.
I'd love to feel like I'm helping the show while I'm getting a tugger.
It's not a bad
I
idea.
go to that
I like
sponsor all the time.
You didn't want the massage.
Yeah, I want that
was-
massage.
Yeah, well, it could have been that
I want-
massage. You don't know.
I want the one with the
Do we know where
penis
a
massage.
good happy ending massage place is?
Just drive up and down 94, dude. 94 and 96 on
Is
your
it
way to
8
like.
Mile? Is
Well,
there
those
one
places
closer?
too, but I'm talking about those Oriental ones that are out on the.
What is it? The Velvet Touch. That's on the way to. I mean, there's several of them, but the classic one is on the way to Kalamazoo. right?
Yes.
Dude, I defy you to drive by that place any time of the week and see less than 2 cars there.
Really?
Oh, there's
Packed?
always 2, 3, 4 cars there.
Yeah.
What are they
just
do- I
getting
mean,
Dude,
listed
in this
off?
day and age where you are one click away on your phone, whatever, from whatever porn you want to see, what the fuck are people doing?
I know. If you no again,
Is
if
it
you're
just
going
a
to those-
porn store?
Yes.
It's a porn. You know what? Patty Cakes took me there once.
Really?
I talked about this, didn't
Yeah,
I?
you
Yeah,
have.
this is
But
where
sorry.
Patty Cakes was in the quarter booth
Yes,
watching
yeah.
what he thought was hot hetero porn, and he was like loving the ass he's looking at. Turned out to be a dude.
Yeah, totally.
It was the Eggplant Friday situation.
Oh, yes.
God
yes.
damn it.
that eggplant. I forgot about that. I forgot about
Oh,
that.
that was so bad. Oh,
So
expand the picture, E. Oh, no! No!
and right before he did that, I'm commenting, God, what a weird tan line. Who would have a... Oh, my God!
Breaking down a dude's ass with a dick buried in it. And I mean buried in it.
Love the
where's-
show. Hashtag keep that shit up, says Tony. Goodbye, BUI.
Where's the brown bag? Is Velvet Touch like the brown bag?
Brown bag. I don't know. Does that refer to a scrotum? That must be downtown or something.
No, it's because when you go in and you buy your products, they put it in a brown
Right.
bag so no one knows what it is. But that's another one I thought was on the way to Lansing. That's why I figured you would know. Like it's
Yeah,
off
I
the
can't-
side, off the road there.
I guess the Lion's Den is the big one. I see signs for now. That have you noticed those?
Well, there's
yeah.
Lover's Lane. There's,
Yeah, but
Oh.
that's kind of tame, isn't it?
yeah. Well,
That's
they've got
more
the
like
vibrating.
Strip mall shit.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I
you're
mean,
not
they-
going to get a hand job at Lover's Lane.
No. Can you get a hand job at the Velvet Touch?
I think so.
Oh, see, I didn't. I thought it was just a porn thing.
No, I think there are live chicks there.
Huh.
All right.
Because I was gonna say that, yeah, those massage parlors, like, I get it. At least you're, getting some. But the
Hell yeah.
porn stores, who is buying it? Who's
Yeah.
going at these truck stop porn stores?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Well, even to go in there and buy, you used to have to go in there if you wanted a dildo or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could go on Amazon.
Amazon and buy
Yep.
your dildos.
It's very little they don't have.
Jay writes in, look, listen, not a King Dong Boner email. I think when Eric says his sister is stopping him from getting laid, okay, this is E saying that his sister's cock blocking him.
kidding.
Remember that?
Yep.
He really is just planting that seed for Lauren to give him a sympathy fuck. Is that true, E?
No.
I'm not trying to throw shade
That
on
is
Eric.
not
The sister
true.
card cuts both ways. My advice is bang every one of your sister's friends. Don't bang your sister for the gene pool.
We've
I would
just-
agree with that.
We've just,
Have
unfortunately,
you decided with Lauren you won't do that?
for one, I'm not going to have sex with my sister. 'Cause
Mongoloid
that's
Aaron
not gonna
Rodgers would
happen.
kick your ass.
Yeah.
Sure. For other reasons than that, to be honest with you. And then I've also discussed before, unfortunately, my sister doesn't,
Yeah. You said she's the hottest one of her and her
doesn't have,
friends.
yeah.
She does. Oh yeah, she does. I thought you were going somewhere else.
She
with
doesn't,
that.
no.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say like, oh, she doesn't have a vagine or something.
No, she just doesn't have any
Got
hot
it sewn
friends. She
shut.
needs some hot friends.
Okay. Wolfie writes in, hello, lovers. When I hear the read from Mark Leibovitz, I often wonder if anyone has ever fact-checked his claim to be a member of FINRA SIPC.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Do you think I would read such a reading without knowing the situation? I wouldn't put myself out there like that, doing that read.
He has standards.
Yeah. You would bring shame to all of us if you did that.
Wolfie says, I bet not, but it sounds important. So going forward, I'm going to have my business cards changed to also show that I'm a member of FINRA SIPC. I'll impress the shit out of people. Warmest regards.
Good luck with
Has
that.
to do with a
Signed,
financial-
Wolfie, member of FINRA SIPC. Son of a
It has to do with a
bitch.
financial situation. Well, I don't think you could just be like, I'm a welder, member SICP.
Brian writes in, what's up, fuckers? Been a while since I've written in, but the discussion about blocking the merge lane has prompted me to write. The self-ordained merge lane governors can all go suck a dick.
I almost
So,
did
of
that
course,
today, by the way. I got pissed that I didn't, too, in the end.
like moving over and
Yeah, I was
stopping people from...
Well, here's the thing. It pisses me off, those lanes where it says, everybody knows there's 2 lanes and it's going to become 1. And it pisses me off when there's a line of 10 cars, 15 cars. Some dude go, and I swear I was so pissed. I almost did it, and then he got by me and
You
whatever.
almost did it, meaning almost...
I
pulled
almost
out
got
that
in
lane.
his way and let him not do it.
Yeah, so that's what Brian's talking about here is that governor who says, you know what, I'm stopping this, and he pulls out into that lane to stop people. No one likes it when someone runs up the merge lane, but what I like less is when the fuckhead directly in front of me decides he's too important to be passed. You know what that piece of shit just did? He created the merge point in front of me. And because I'm behind this self-righteous cunt, I now have to either run a quarter-mile no-look block or allow this frantic woman to merge. He's right.
That's kind of a funny point.
Right? He created it just in front of him. So this fun governor guy is out there in the merge lane, sitting there,
Yeah.
like he's doing society a favor.
Right.
But then everybody has to merge in front of Brian now.
kind of a funny
So
point.
Brian either has to be a dick and
Yeah.
just do the no-look block or let the frantic lady in.
That's kind of a funny point.
One of the typical actions of the cocksucking lane blocker is to look back and observe his blessing of law and order. Right? Looks back in the rearview mirror. Like,
what I
"Yeah,
did."
Look what I did. You're welcome, everyone. And that's when I'll execute a quick pass on the right of the preoccupied asshole.
Oh,
Wow.
That's an interesting move.
Dude.
Leaving him out there, right?
See
We
what?
quickly just
That's a
take a
dick
spot.
move.
No, see, you know what I
That's
do? That's funny that he says that because what I do when I do it is I could just get like half over and I try to make sure that the guy behind me
Is on board.
Is on board.
You have to.
Like-
Yeah.
And that guy usually is on board because he
He'll
knows
usually
now.
give you a little.
Yeah, he's usually on board. But if he's not,
Actually, I've never done it, so I don't know.
I don't know
can
where that
imagine.
came from.
no. But if that guy's not on board, that'd be a real problem.
Yeah,
you
well,
get stuck out in an island
You got
there.
a Brian who's just blocked you out.
It's happened to me too before. When they've decided that my thing was not a charitable thing, and they decided to use that to pass me.
Your altruism.
The way I do it is to half and half it.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do. But then
Yeah.
you risk people going, fuck you, and going around you in the merge lane still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough game.
I've only done this once, says Brian. The guy was startled and furiously angry, and it was hilarious, but I felt like a total dick, and frankly, it was an unsafe maneuver. That said, I'll probably do it again if given the chance. Love you guys. Keep up the good work, Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
And I think we'll save the rest for next time.
Okay. All right. With that, let's call it a day. As I got to get to a plane.
You do.
So, thanks everybody for hanging with us. We've got some great best ofs lined up for a few days, and we'll be back at some point next week. So, have a great rest of the week, you guys, and
You
we'll
too,
be
Mike.
getting fired up for the Massey show when we get back. So, we'll talk to you guys soon.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.